Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Company Heroes 2 replay. Spawn on the south side as the OKW forces, we have VonIvan. Spawn on the north side as the Soviet player, we have the 12th Angel of Lelek. Wait, that's Paula? I guess maybe that's Paula. Going to Little Tank, it looks like he's saying he's predicting his opponent's going to go for the Panzer II. I wonder if they're trash talking or a friendly trash talking. It seems a bit more friendly. I don't know if there's a beef between these two or not. Okay, maybe it's trash talking. Or maybe not, if you say very mad, super mad. I also can't tell if it's can't tell if it's friendly trash talking or angry trash talking, but either way, we do have two doctrinal lock-ins. We do have the Overwatch Doctrine versus Airborne Troop Tactics.
Well done, comrades. The point is ours. Waiting for your command. Sandbags are set up.
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
Waiting like a pig.
This is our sector. We're ready to move.
We do have a Kubelwagen capture the command point as these conscripts start making their advance. Storm Pioneers will find a great engagement against the combat engineers, forcing them back immediately.
Ready for action.
Second squad of combat conscripts are pushing the way forward. Getting some great damage there on the Kubelwagen. Both Grenadiers pushing the way forward. Maybe they will find some great hits there onto the building conscript squad. And he does cancel the build order, but they're already severely wounded. They're forced on back. Kubelwagen's backing off a little bit more. Managed to do a nice bit of kiting there. Will need to maintain his range, but potentially could push back in on the next engagement. But it looks like he's going straight for the fuel point, trying to decapture it. Not eyeing for the cutoff point, that's pretty far away and a bit harder to keep hold of it, while over here it's a bit safer because the retreating back squad gets reinforced and maybe push back immediately here. But they are wounded, so the higher... Oh! And the Volksgrenadiers do get spotted there. He does make use of his opponent's heavy cover sandbags there, so those sandbags are not very well placed. Kubelwagen's in the center of the map, capturing the point, and of course the Storm Pioneers are falling on back. Sure, Panzer quarters will be important now. Will we go for mechanized? Will we go for battle group?
Supply half track is ready for orders.
SW half track has been deployed on out. We've got the Volksgrenadiers now in light cover. And it looks like the Storm Pioneers here are here for healing. They do deploy out some medical crates, so it's very likely going to be a mechanized HQ. Got Volksgrenadier all the way over here. Doing a good job interrupting sandbags, that's for sure. And we got the wire here not fully wired off. Granted, he could just always hop over the fence. This entire fence line can be hopped over. And that Volksgrenadier, yeah, fall back or sooner rather than later, because there's 3 conscript squads there. And the combat engineer to boot. American HQ is been going down. He has 27 fuel at the moment. And the sheer number of conscripts in this region, he won't be able to gauge. He even rotates these conscripts right here so he's able to get them firing. They're not being focused down, so they can be out of cover while firing. Kubelwagen's charged on forward, but they got 2 squads behind heavy cover there, so it's not going to be a good engagement there for the Kubelwagen. Goes the senior grenade there to force him out of cover. And now we've got the conscripts pushing on forward. Heavy cover, light cover, still pioneers. They are behind heavy cover, so it's a good spot for them, but there are just too many conscripts in this region. Both grenadiers need to get behind this heavy cover, but still, the number of conscripts, they're able to close distance, no problem. Those pair of AT grenades there does not get the kill there. Rolls forward, he's trying to gun him down, but he will sustain a lot of losses. Incendiary grenade there, preemptive incendiary grenade, which is actually really good. It does not get the kill there on the Kugelwagen. Walks in a little bit in his own incendiary grenade, but that's fine. Not a huge deal. He definitely made his opponent pay for it. And now we do have a Dishka being deployed on out, which may give him an idea what Doctrine has gone for if he was paying attention to what was on the loading screen. Because something being dropped by airplane this early in the game for Soviets, I can only think of this Doctrine only has that capability. He does, of course, have medics back at home, and that's a really wounded conscript squad getting much needed blood transfusions.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
When did blood transfusions first come about? Is that... It wouldn't surprise me if blood transfusions was a thing that's actually from the 20th century. Or even 20th century seems a little bit too early. No, it has to be 20th century. Not too early. 20th century is between 1900 and 2000, so 20th century actually does seem about right. Because when was hollow needles first invented? That's something about more recent. That could have been from in the 1900s, but probably not earlier than that, the hollow needle. Unless there was other ways for blood transfusions in, other than through a hollow needle. Panzer II's on the build queue, so it looks like he had a good prediction. He was
Tank ready to deploy.
predicting the Panzer II, right? Not the T-70. But either way, we got the Volksgrenadier suppressed from the Dishka. Panzer II now skirting around. He does not have enough munitions there for AT grenade. He's approaching enough. And those are flanking shots. If he's able to rotate a bit more over here, then he gets some good backboards for the splash. He does not secure the fuel. On the left side, we do have incendiary grenade being thrown out. A lot of incendiary grenades. And he has utilized his munitions. That may actually be a Molotov. It was actually a Molotov, not incendiary grenade. Second Dishka has been out, so there's two Dishkas here. The armor piercing rounds of Dishka can be deployed against the Panzer II, but won't be effective. It's more of a soft counter, rather hard to counter the armor piercing rounds. Kugelwagen does get forced back there. And now armor piercing rounds have been loaded.
Send orders.
And spent a lot of time reloading right there. The damage is not too particularly great. He's able to duke it out and duel for a bit of time, but that's about it. And look, you just back off, wait for the timeout, and then re-engage.
Why can't I feel my legs?
We are losing territory.
Shroom Pioneers getting gunned down by these bolt action rifles. Both of them have a minesweeper out. Shroom Pioneers can put away their own. There you go, puts away. Moving to this heavy cover would be a good idea, but there's only 2 miles remaining. Not really worth it staying around. Save the manpower, retreat back early. MG-34 has employed on out to help secure the flanks. Volksgrenadiers force back the conscripts as the starts moving towards a fuel point. This is the cutoff point for this munitions sector as well. Volksgrenadier try to go for Incendiary Grenade. They do get an Incendiary Grenade off at the edge of the radius, but it would only really affect the gunner, but that nice flanking squad there would force him back either way. We do have this gun now deployed on the field.
Infantry shooting at us! Your predecessor died a hero!
Volksgrenadiers are behind heavy cover there, so they can hold out for quite some time. The Panzer IIs makes its way forward. Armor-piercing rounds will likely be loaded up soon, but the Ziska in the region, it's really low. One more shot actually may kill off the Panzer II. It's really hard for me to tell. He does hold fire state, but he should also have done camouflage state as well. The force fire grounds do miss. Conscripts coming in for a nice flank on the MG-34. Now over here, we've got the combat engineers pushing their way forward to capture the munitions point. The cannon refer non-hold fire state. Won't be able to destroy any cover right there. And they will get easily overwhelmed right there. These forces started pushing their way forward, trying to engage the Volksgrenadiers. And we've got the Panzer II now skirting around, trying to get some good shots in on these forces. Volksgrenadiers are now receiving quite a bit of fire.
Enemy forces are attempting to
They will need to fall back.
Replacements have arrived! The point is ours. Contact with the enemy!
Volksgrenadiers are behind heavy cover. Conscripts are trying to engage. We do have the Zisgun potentially able to destroy the sandbags, and that may be what he's trying to focus down. But it's rolling some misses there. Of course, we've got the Dishka here, but he is out of range of the Volksgrenadier, so we'll be able to pick him off shortly. And the sandbags are going down. No rounds have actually connected with the sandbags at the moment.
Enemy is encroaching on our territory.
And the MG-34 set up a good position there, suppressing both of these forces. Volksgrenadier coming on flank, trying to engage that Dishka that's suppressed, but has recovered from suppression.
Enemy forces are
And the Volksgrenadier will manage to stay behind the heavy cover. We do now have some SVTs deployed on out on some of these conscripts. More of them are coming on in. That truck has received quite a bit of fire there from the Dishka, so that truck's almost actually gone down. Panzer II will find a good angle there onto the Dishka. And now we've got the Shun Pioneers engaging these forces. Dishka setting on up will suppress the Shun Pioneers, no problem. Zisbraj may come on in.
Enemy forces capturing supply sectors.
And Dishka's actually not deployed at the moment. Lost outside of the rest of the targets there.
Tank ready for orders.
T-70 has been deployed out on the field. Both sides have deployed out a lot of infantry assets and a lot of vehicle assets. There is a Goliath out in the field.
We are bleeding, comrades! They see us!
Over here, T-70 starts making his advance. We may see a squad wipe there. They're pretty low. T-70's pursued the T-70. Not retargeting towards the infantry squad. He is targeting to it now. Make it the kill there. The Panzer II does get a nice little block there, but receives lots of fire and may pay for it dearly. Sheer Panzer Corps set on up, getting some good hits there. The cannon warfare needs to rotate around, and the Sheer Panzer Corps does take out the T-70.
Another vehicle has been lost in
combat engineers engaging the Kugelwagen. And now we've got the conscripts here receiving a bit of fire. Incendiary grenade has been thrown. Oh, and Goliath has fired.
Infantry has been killed.
Ooh.
Death before retreat.
There's two squads there. One has been wiped out. It looks like one, and the other conscript squad is down to one last model there. So we actually did have a successful Goliath hit. That's actually pretty rare. Another T-70 on the build queue. The OKW player is definitely going for a Panzer IV. He has a sheer Panzer Quarter. It's fully upgunned. Pretty close on fuel for another for a Panzer IV. So probably the best idea to go for Panzer IV. Got a massive fuel float here. I saw the T-70 in the build queue. He needs to tech up and then get out a T-34-76. Over on the right side, combat engineers. That incendiary grenade was a huge waste. There's no reason to throw that one out. He was not going to sustain a whole lot of damage fighting it.
AT gun is ready. The sector is at risk.
Oh, I hear a flare. So very nice. That could have been actually from the incendiary grenade. No models dropped, so the incendiary grenade did burn the flare to death or to ignition. To ignition. That's actually probably the better term in that case. Does get some nice suppression there on the Volksgrenadier. Unable to get the strategic point there. The Sturm Pioneers are decapturing the fuel point. And SVTs will do some great work against those Volksgrenadiers. Dishka will fall back in time. And a secret grenade was thrown right there.
Team movement! They've opened up on us!
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Volksgrenadiers are making their advance, trying to get a flank there onto the Dishka. And getting some good damage there.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Finds another flare mine there, very nice. He may get the wipe there on the Dishka. Bit of death loot there, but he does not manage to escape there. But he won't be able to get a salvage there, nor capture. Four-man squad does pick up the Dishka in time. Panzer IV finds a good shot there, but gets wiped out.
Forward elements report and infantry unit lost.
Panzer IV advancing, no Pinto mount just yet. He has enough munitions for it. And this gun has been pulling out, but rolls a bounce down Panzer IV. Ooh, what a good hit there. That squad was relatively bunched up, but not super bunched up, so that was a great hit by the Panzer IV.
Panzer IV ready.
That was pretty lucky. And that's why in my mod, I changed how a lot of tanks work. They have a really good chance of picking off a model every single shot, but they're only capped to one model with Panzer IV, at least the medium tanks, so Panzer IV and Sherman.
Ready. Target secure. Squad back to full strength. Contact! Heavy machine gun!
I mean, there was the Kugelwagen and the Panzer IV shot. That's the only thing I would say about luck so far. Obsat's making their way forward. We got the LMG upgrade as well, and he does have some heavy cover there for them. LMG has been upgraded, and this barrage finds a good hit there on the Volksgrenadiers. Next shot does not get a hit, however. Ooh, good hit there as well. He's actually been pretty lucky with the Panzer IV. That shot was also lucky.
track is in action. Standing by for setting of command post. The enemy now have 200 points.
Target secure. Establish defensive line.
Looks like it's starting to lay down some landmines there. Over here, these forces are making their advance. And throws around there into the sandbags. Trying to go for crush now. But the Shroom Pioneers will escape out no problem. He is approaching enough fuel for another T-34-76. And he does wipe out that Shroom Pioneer squad. I was surprised he actually got it, but all the firepower there did good work. If Vagina does get a hit there, Panzer IV gets a hit in as well. These forces are all suppressed by the MG-34 and now start to get pinned. Now is actually time to go for crush. With the pinned forces, it's instant crushes, no dodging there. 2 Zis guns deployed on the field. That's a good amount of anti-vehicle. He's down to 2 conscripts, 1 of SVTs. Now the Volksgrenadiers are making their advance, trying to engage these forces to the right. We're seeing get some good hits there onto the T-34. Maybe they'll get another shot off, but they're at max range. And they did not fire force by the ground. Force fire the ground right there. Almost got a hit there. He's actually really close, but he does get enough repairs that will withstand a shot now. This gun barrage at point blank range may splash his own conscripts and gets the wipe. Does throw a round into the Veketa Warfare itself, but managed to capture the Veketa Warfare. That's 3 AT weapons, so he doesn't need to deploy out an SU-85. Another T-34-76 wouldn't be half bad. They do have a Goliath here. There was both a flare mine and a landmine there. Good hits there. And more good hits there. And wipes out the Volksgrenadier with the Dishka. The Goliath can camouflage if stationary in cover, as so. Or not stationary and in just in cover. The Minesweepers, I believe, do have extended camouflage seeing range and does get spotted there by the Minesweepers. He starts advancing, but an attack move order, not realizing the Goliath is also soon. Dishka set up a wrong angle, but the defense crews do manage to save him, since they're armed with regular conscript models rather than defense crew models. Looks like the conscript now upgraded SVTs have the 7-man squad upgrade, interestingly enough. One, of course, makes it more durable. And a Molotov does get thrown there. Another T-34-76 on the build queue. The OKW player has a lot of fuel and manpower. He could save up another Panzer IV. He may be eyeing a King Tiger. Gets a good hit there with the Vekena Warfare. And over here we've got T-34-76. We do have one built landmine, one unbuilt. And the unbuilt one is not being cancelled. He really wants to get that. Does get cancelled there. Actually, it may have been destroyed by the T-34 shot. Obstats are engaging the SVT conscripts. And Dishka does get some suppression there on the Obsatsen. Volksgrenadiers coming for a flank on the Dishka, trying to stall off the Obsatsen. Obsatsen do fall back now. And the conscript squad does fall back from the Volksgrenadier. T-34-76 in pursuit.
Guards troops ready for action.
And now has some airborne guards floating out, which are a ambush spawn. Landmines have been rebuilt there, and Keno referring T-34 in this region. Soviet player has a lot of forces out on the field, but doesn't have a whole lot of tickets remaining. 105 versus 395. Now, OKW player just needs trade time for resources. Obsatsen's getting hit quite significantly right there. And now the Shun Pioneers are getting suppressed by the Dishka. And fully pinned.
What are your orders?
Volksgrenadier do get inside the building. It's not a good building to fight from. There should only be one window on that side. And plus a tank, 2 tanks nearby. Oops, and I hit the fast forward button. Volksgrenadier may go down to the T-34s. Rolls some misses there. Panzer IV has rotated over to respond. Rolls a miss there. And Sheer Panzer has got some good damage to the T-34 as well, but he can still withstand 2 shots. It's not below half health. Now Engineer trying to repair up that wounded T-34. And got conscripts here. Potentially could throw his AT grenade, but will not be enough to get the snare. The other ones, however, can follow up to get a snare. There's also a Zis gun to get the help get the snare. And now King Tiger's now deployed on the field, and now we do also have Sector Assault available. This may be a good time to advance. Grab what infantry you can to help support, and perhaps push Soviets out of this area. Great hit there on the Dishka. Obsatsen are suppressed. MG-34 using armor-piercing rounds. Dishka is still 2 models left. Getterfer does roll a bounce there. Flare Trap does get spot the Panzer IV. And good hits there onto the King Tiger. On the left side, we've got the other T-34-76 and the conscripts and guards rifle advancing, forcing back the Volksgrenadiers. Dagger is going to be pushing on forward. Maybe eyeing the fact that he saw one of the T-34s on the other side of the map to push in that sector once again. But appears not. He's going to respond over the left side to resecure this VP. Panzer IV is fully healed, full health. And we got the T-34-76 now charging forward on the King Tiger, against great hits from there. Does take out the T-34, takes out the Kuppelwagen. We got Sector Assault coming on in, pitching some more damage in there. And perhaps it will dissuade his opponent. The King Tiger just needs to get 1 shot in. And there we go. The combined effort of all those forces managed to take it out. I think the Sheer Panzer could have potentially got the kill as well. But no, it looks like just outside of range. But could have got some shots in. Sector Assault may not have been necessary. But better dead. then red. Oh, that's how I captured that point. The VPs are still heavily favored towards the OKW player, but still not a whole lot. He does have 3 times the amount, literally. But this game is still far from over. The Soviet player has lost all of his vehicles, spending the rest of his fuel onto an Su-85. So spending a lot of munitions on those flare mines and regular mines, so it doesn't have enough munitions for a rocket run that engagement. And we also got a booby trap here. Very nice. King Tiger still far from fully repaired. Sturm Pioneers trying to repair it away, but trying to run away. Dishka's on the other side of the map, so will suppress the Volksgrenadiers no problem. And does fall back before you get even decaptured. Dishka engaged in the Obsoldatsen at max range for our veterancy, so gains all this increased accuracy veterancy, making them very lethal. Does capture the fuel point. It's trying to stick to the heavy cover there, and heavy cover you do receive better suppression recovery, but with the airborne guards, the airborne guards should be able to win out of the engagement. But here comes the Panzer IV. He's stalling out for the Panzer IV to arrive. No AT mines in the sector, but there is still the Su-85 itself with the Kenwerfer, which is out. It's out of range. Gets a second. Nope, that was a miss. One that was a miss. One that was a hit. King Tiger fully repaired. No Pinto mount still. He may be saving up for more sector assaults. And a lag being deployed now field. Interesting. Could be useful versus the Dishkas. But I would like to see more smoke rounds and high explosive rounds in order to smoke out the Zis guns and the Dishkas. Does salvage the Kubelwagen wreck there. He is spending his munitions on a Stuxafus, and he cancels the lag. What would be better, the Stuxafus or another Panzer IV? Oh, that's a lot of landmines. There's 3 landmines right there.
This is our territory now.
And King Tiger start making his advance. The Zis guns are packed on up. It does fire around somewhere. That was definitely in the fog of war. Interesting. Maybe that's the last known location of the Dishka. Does get a great hit there on the infantry. Zis gun does find a pin there as well. Obsasson will decapture the point there. Throws out frangible smoke. Oh, on the left side, Su-85 could push forward and engage the King Tiger. Stuxafus is now deployed, which can be great for those Zis guns. And the booby trap is still up. We do have the Dishka in this building here. Good building for the Dishka if you want to protect the fuel point. Both sides do need to still continue to fight for the fuel. Neither side has a fuel float. It does take out the sandbags of that T-34 shot. And Dishka will go ahead and eventually suppress down that Sturm Pioneer. Su-85 coming to respond. Sturm Pioneers do decapture that point and falls back. T-34 does receive a pin. And on the right side, Volksgrenadiers capturing up those strategic points. Got a mass deployment over here. Kenwerfer and 2 Zis guns as well. That's literally the entire Soviet army right there. Or at least the Soviet army in this game. Even this Dishka's coming forward support. He's going to push heavily into the past center sector. I heard an explosion somewhere. Ah, landmine plus flare. King Panzer IV does receive 3. Ooh! 3 pens, almost receive a 4th. King Tiger now come receiving this onslaught. No sector artillery, but here comes Stuxafus, and that's his first barrage. This could be very, very deadly. It was okay. That could have been been actually better, honestly. That stuff was very congested. That could have been so much worse. King Tiger and Panzer IV is going to receive some much needed repairs. Dishka and Wagener pushing the way forward. We've got the Schump Volkswagen still behind heavy cover, so they may not get suppressed there by the Dishka. All depends whether or not this model still counts as heavy cover or not. T-34, however, can actually destroy the heavy cover itself with a couple well-placed shots, such as that. Now we've got the Volksgrenadiers. They should be able to resecure that VP, no problem. And the Volksgrenadiers will get the wipe there with the support of the Panzer IV. Panzer IV is not fully repaired, but I think it's enough to withstand 3 shots, but it's pretty close. And a light barrage not running it in, so he's gone for the light and the Stuxafus. The smoke rounds are still going to be useful. And these 2-man Volksgrenadiers are actually going to not capture that VP. The Schum Pioneers may do that. And the Obsasons are now Veteran C3 making their advance. There is a landmine right here, as well as right there. He's laying out landmines everywhere. He's not going for those rocket runs whatsoever. And he has a good feeling that there's more and more landmines. Even though he probably saw this one built, he has a good idea there's landmines in this region, because why build one there when that's clearly the best spot there? And he's force firing right here, not realizing there's not one there, and he's force firing everywhere, basically. But he may miss this one. He's pretty close to finding that one. And if he shoots there now, it will blow up on his Volksgrenadiers. Partially, but not fully. Smoke rounds running in by the lag, very nice. S-35 throws in a bounce. It does get suppressed there by the spearhead of the King Tiger. T-34 Sim-6s make their advance, does receive a bounce there from the Panzer IV, sends a 10-in bounce in return. Now the T-34 Sim-6 is Veteran C1, so can capture the sector. And now here comes a barrage. Finds a decent hit there on the Dishka, but perhaps I would have hold off and wait for spotting those Zis guns. Those are things you need to start barraging because those pose a threat to your vehicles. Dishkas do pose a threat, of course, to your infantry, but more I would probably focus the Zis guns myself. Finds a hit there, pen there, S-35 in range. Beginner with her sitting on up as well. Panzer IV needs to fall back. Decides to blitz away. Doesn't receive a miss there. And that is a rocket run. Didn't do any damage to his own vehicles, which is good. Obsas is now engaging the Dishka. But they, of course, will get suppressed. Beginner with her sitting on up. King Tiger gets a great hit there on the T-34 76. And we may see a Panzerfaust there, but nope, takes it out entirely. Going for a Panzerfaust on this one.
The enemy has destroyed one of our vehicles.
Or no Panzerfaust, actually. Does get suppressed there. Zis guns and S-35 makes advance. T-34 76 could potentially ram the King Tiger, so these the shooting gallery can take aim. Panzer IV can withstand 2 shots, but not 3 shots, I believe. He does have only 30 munitions there, so if you only call him 1 Zis barrage. Just, oh, we got the focus sight there from the S-35, and we got some. That's just the incendiary effect from the terrain burning, so that's not white phosphorus. I was wondering, that looked like white phosphorus to me, but that's actually not just smoke with fire. Remember what they say, when there's smoke, there's fire. And as this barrage does miss there, Sector Assault has been called on in, but it's largely going to do nothing. But we'll ward away these vehicles. It could back up a little bit more just to be safe.
We have a new T-34 standing by.
Good hits there on the King Tiger. The King Tiger just needs repairs. Got an infantry strafe right there, but completely was not useful. And now here comes AT strafes onto the Su-85. No Panzerfaust on the Obsolatan. From the Obsolatan. Of course, the Obsolatan can't throw Panzerfaust. And does get great hits there and finds a landmine there, which could have been much, much worse. If those two guys would have just grouped up and then hit that landmine, that could have been a squad wipe. Sector Assault has ended. And he's approaching. He has enough fuel for another Panzer IV. Trio Panzer Corps is still very much alive. He is low on population space. Panzer IV does cost 14 population space, but he doesn't have, after reinforcing, he would not have enough room. For all intents and purposes, the OKW player is likely pop capped. He may be deploy out a Volksgrenadier once it gets fully reinforced, but probably not. Excuse me. King Tiger advancing, does receive a hit there and bounces. The Dishka is quite wounded. And now the Panzer IV does find a hit there. The Cannon does get a shot onto the Su-85. And the Volksgrenadier is trying to put some shots in as well. Still continuously hitting the Cannon Warfare, while the Volksgrenadier is probably the ones you would hit earlier. But now they do get the flank there. Shots coming on in. Multiple shots onto the Panzer IV, forcing the fall back. And Dishka fully gets wiped there. This barrage wipes out the Cannon Warfare, which will allow him to get enough population space for another vehicle asset. A Jagdpanzer or a Panzer IV wouldn't be half bad. Over here, T-34 trying to advance forward. Does get a nice pen there. Suxafu's barrage raining on in here. And does wipe out the other Dishka and is fully destroyed. King Tiger will take out the Zis gun there as well. Those Soviet players losing a lot of field weapons. And now we do have a rocket run. No, that's not a rocket run. Oh, it is a rocket run. I was on the wrong cooldown. I saw the aircraft up here thinking it was rocket run, but it's actually over here. S-35 will fall back in time. And the Obsats go down as well. Oof. Big losses on both sides. Go for the Shum Pioneer, which is actually a good idea for repairs. Because he desperately needs repairs. King Tiger gets a good hit there. Have to make sure not to go in again. Airborne guards deployed. Could have actually got another T-34. For the airborne guards, probably a good idea. Plus picking up that MG-34. That's not so sure how effective they are with that, but hopefully pretty effective. They do go ahead and fall on back. That point does not get captured up. Is that? That's not enough health to get wiped there, but no, he does get the Panzerfaust on the T-34-76. I was going to say that Panzerfaust would probably not have taken out the S-35, but getting the engine crit there can be quite nice as well. Just slow down the opponent. Getting much needed repairs there. He is at 83 population. All of his force except for one Volksgrenadier needs to be reinforced, so being up to 84, which allows him to deploy out both the either the Jagdpanzer or Panzer IV. Panther's too high in population cost. The Soviet player, we do have, of course, 70 population. 4 more models there. Perhaps India's taking this back to be reinforced, I believe. So 3 more models there. So another 6 more models at 89. So should be able to pull out another T-34 or S-35 easy, no problem. Panzer II on the build queue. And gets a decent hit there on the airborne guards. Does receive a bounce there from the Zis gun. And a good hit there on the airborne guards. Does send another bounce there to the King Tiger. Does send a good pen for some T-34s. Don't think he has a chance even bouncing that. At least on T-34-76s. 3 T-34-76s deployed out in the field and has a lot of fuel still remaining. It is going to be Jagdpanzer, so it's a good idea. A long-range fire asset. The Panzer IV is just lacking the range to engage the forces with an SU-5 in the region. And the King Tiger does have trouble with range as well with slow mobility. Stukes of Foos running on in. Could potentially go down without fully immobilized there. Takes the T-34-76, the one that rammed. Charging forward. Not enough munitions there for a rocket run. And needs to do a stop move command to get to the... And does do the stop command move command there. Does end up bounce on the rear armor. Good shots there. Jagdpanzer is engaging as well. Does start firing against the SU-85. Good hits there on the SU-85. Sends a car grounded the carcass of the Panzer IV. And these guys are still just sitting there. He needs to fall back. Jagdpanzer fires another shot, takes on another T-34. Does get a snare there onto the SU-85. Great Zis barrage there. But needs to stop firing. Volksgrenadiers advancing. The T-34-76 could potentially get recovered, especially with the 2 Sturm Pioneers. It's a lot of repair ability, and he's pretty far forward. We may see the conscripts roaring forward for an AT grenade over here. He's trying to pursue the SU-85 and perhaps take out the Zis guns while at it.
One of our AT guns has been neutralized.
And no, he's not going for an AT grenade there on the T-34-76. Panzer IV fully repaired. He needs an AT grenade onto that T-34-76, but he's bringing the AT gun. Can he even throw an AT grenade onto a bandit vehicle? Ooh. Speaking about lack of AT grenades. Trying to charge him forward, trying to go for the kill there on the T-34-76. But no, he decides to fall back and will get decrewed. At that point, try to force fire the death of the T-34-76. He was too low in health to run away. Force firing the death of the Zis gun. He's not captured as well. Maybe he's going a bit more sportsmanlike not capturing it because it's almost a bit BS for the abandoned vehicles, in my opinion. I hate that mechanic. They should get rid of abandoned vehicles altogether. He does ram the Panzer IV, going for the rocket run, or no, he's not.
Another vehicle has been lost in the defense of the Rodina.
That was a really weird ram there. There's no chance he was going to get the kill there. The Zis gun's way too wounded as well. The squad could just run forward and quickly decrew it. Apparently, the airborne guards do have the fire capability with the MG-34. Still abandoned there, so maybe she's not going to recruit it, be more sportsmanlike. Needs to turn off prioritized fire.
The enemy has killed another infantry squad. Guards troops ready for action.
Fresh airborne guards advancing. Trying to charge him forward. Blitz. He's severely wounded. Does receive a hit there. And he will get around the rear armor. Rolls a bounce there. And Jagdpanzer does secure the kill.
The enemy has destroyed.
He's lacking all anti-vehicle assets. The Panzer IV may not realize that. But he will stick around. Still no Pendle Medal on the Panzer IV as well. He may be AFK at this point in time.
Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
I think he may have just rage quit. It's hard to tell. Oh, playback over. So yeah, that's the end of the replay. It's Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.